Is Naruto the best story?
No.
Does Naruto have the best world building or the best animation?
No.
So does Naruto have the best pacing?
Oh, hell no!
But is Naruto my favorite anime?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So the question is, how can a show that is so flawed can still be someone's favorite? I remember finishing the anime and feeling like I just saw the best thing ever. There is nothing better than this. And then I opened the internet and saw the criticism everyone had about Naruto.
What the fuck is going on here?
And then in retrospect, I started noticing all the flaws that I never noticed. I felt conflicted. How can I love this show so much and still be in complete agreement with most of its criticism? Maybe my standard was too low. Maybe it was time for me to explore some more animes and find the true peak. And then I went on to watch some absolute masterpieces. Haikyuu, One Piece, Attack on Titan, Death Note, to mention a few. But as amazing as those were, none of those were able to shake off Naruto from my favorite anime spot. So what makes Naruto so special despite being so flawed? I think the answer lies in the journey of Uzumaki Naruto. So today let's go back to the streets of Konoha and try to figure out what makes Naruto special. The loser. Since the first episode of the show, Naruto is a loser. He is not good at studies, not good at fighting, he constantly keeps doing pranks and he is ignored by the girl he likes. Quite the loser character, right? But the show does something that changes Naruto's status from loser to underdog. You see, a character not being able to accept others' achievements, that's a loser. But a character being sad about his own shortcomings, that's an underdog. And behind every flaw of Naruto, we are shown a reason that makes us sympathetic with him. Naruto can't do anything properly. Well, that's because he had no parents to teach him anything. He pulls pranks because negative attention is still attention. He acts loud because silence reminds him he's alone. Once we understand his life, we don't pity him, we respect him. And somewhere in that shift, we start rooting for him. The role model.
Naruto also grew up without a father. In fact, he never knew either of his parents. Still, I've never seen him cry, sulk, or give up. My guess is he just got tired of crying and decided to do something about it.
Before this scene, we have seen that he has sadness in his heart. But in this scene, we are reminded just how much this 12-year-old has suffered. Growing up without parents, the whole village making him an outcast, not having any friends, everyone he knows looking at him like he's a monster. Even half of this is enough to make an adult breakdown. And Naruto had to face all these things as a child. Like Inari, you also get to realize how many nights this kid has cried himself to sleep before realizing it's hopeless. It's useless to cry. This was our one of the first true insight about Naruto's personality. He doesn't complain about his childhood. He doesn't use his past as an excuse for sympathy. Instead, he works hard for a future where he is respected and has everything he lacks right now. Naruto is not like Luffy, where we absolutely love the character, but it's so far from reality that we can't even think about becoming like him. Instead, audiences see themselves in Naruto's sufferings. So when Naruto shrugs it off and moves on to the next day, trying even harder, that inspires audiences to do the same. The hero.
We knew you could do it! Yeah!
What was the enemy like anyway?
Why do we watch stories? Because we want to feel something. Could be any emotion. Fear from horror stories, laughter in comedies, thrill in action adventures. But the only condition is it should make us feel something. And one of the best feelings any story can give you is the satisfaction. It's the ultimate feeling. It's not a singular emotion, rather the culmination of multiple. And this scene gives the audiences exactly that. The surprise in Naruto's eyes, only to slowly relishing the fact that this village has acknowledged him as their savior, as their hero. He finally got what he wanted. Friends who would die for him. A village that was ready to sacrifice themselves just to save him. Even though he was still not the Hokage like he always wished to be, this was the moment he was waiting for his whole life. And as the audiences who has witnessed his journey, we feel satisfied. And this is the kind of catharsis I expect from long-term storytelling. Journey of the hero. The story of an underdog becoming the hero. It's already a great story, but the show decides to go a step forward. Tell the story of the journey of the hero. Now that Naruto is the hero, he has to face problems he never even knew about. His actions now hold meaning and will have consequences. Should he do something different from his past generations or let the cycle repeat itself? Naruto has to face this dilemma with every single villain he fights with. What's fascinating is Naruto is not shown as a pure soul like Tanjiro, who would be generous enough to just forgive the villain. Nor do we see him over-aggressive like Eren, who would straight up kill the villain without any question. Instead, we see Naruto fight his dark side, trying to do the right thing even in his rage mode. Not being on the other extreme sides of the spectrum only makes Naruto more honorable and relatable. The optimist. To stop the cycle of violence and hatred, Naruto decides he will be the first one to stop the punch. And I know at this point Naruto has become a meme for this very reason. I mean, who hasn't seen the talk no jutsu meme? And I can understand it feels frustrating to see our hero trying to talk with the villain instead of taking the revenge. But have you ever noticed Naruto only talks with his enemies after fighting with them, after reaching a point where the enemy knows he can't defeat Naruto. So Naruto is not using talk no jutsu as the last option to defeat them. On the contrary, it's his last attempt to change them, save them from the darkness. Now this part of the story does feel like childish optimism, but it's not just us. The characters of this story also keep telling Naruto how it's a pipe dream to hope for an utopia, but Naruto fights to keep that optimism alive in himself because, as he says,
if I stop believing just because things get difficult, if the hero in this book were to change who he is, then it would become a whole different story.
And maybe a bit of old-fashioned optimism isn't so bad in a world where reality is supposed to be dark. Even though Naruto doesn't have the world building of One Piece, or the intricate storytelling of Attack on Titan, or the breathtaking animation of Demon Slayer, but it has a character journey that feels relatable, enjoyable, rewarding, and satisfying. And sometimes that is more than enough.